guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your Wawa girl here. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about dreams. Let me tell you something. I've noticed every time I had a dream that there was a shootout, something would happen. The next morning, I'd wake up and I'd see either a school shooting or something like that. All right, let me break it down for you. I don't know if it just happens to like West Indian people. Well, I guess not. It happens like everybody, like you have all these mediums, you have this, that, people that do brujeria, santeria, like, you know, any type of voodoo or whatever it is. But you have people that actually see things before they happen. I had a couple instances where I would call somebody's name. And I would either meet that person, they have something to do with my life, or it's just weird, right? So the first time, and it started happening like later in my age, the name thing was always like growing up, but I never paid any attention to it, like really like weird. Okay, whatever. So in my dream, people were shooting around me or something, and somebody got shot and I saw blood. And then I think it was like the Sandy Hook shooting. God, all those people, children, teachers, rest in peace. And then I remember I was living in these townhouses. Anyway, I had, it was a dream. I remember it was on a Sunday. And I woke up and I'm freaked out because it was me, my son Anthony, but he was younger then, my oldest daughter Jamie, and their sister Jessica. So we're walking like up the sidewalk, and first Jamie's with us, and then I turn around, I'm like, Anthony, where's Jamie? And he's like, oh, I took her to a friend's house, they're going to take her to school. And I'm like, okay, but, you know. And then we're walking, me, Anthony, and Jessica, through like these warehouses, kind of like, you know, like the James Bond video, not video, game video where you're like hiding behind all these things. And me and Jessica were hiding. We had already walked through it, and we're like, what the hell's Anthony? And he's like running through, and people are shooting, and he's dodging. And finally he came over to us, and I'm like, what are you nuts? You know, like freaking out. So that night, so it was like Saturday going to Sunday morning, we had a phone call. Jessica's brother had got shot and died. And what a beautiful kid. What a beautiful, well-mannered, beautiful, like, and he just had, he had just had a baby, and his girlfriend was pregnant again. And then, may he rest in peace, Dion. Last night, when I woke up this morning, I'm like, what the hell? Because I say my prayers, everything, because I don't like bad dreams. And I've been doing good. And then all of a sudden, now I leave my phone out here to charge because who's going to call me? So I figured, you know, it's overnight or whatever. I put it on the charge like late. And then I have my other phone inside. They're all, on that phone I use text now. So if, you know, you don't see me on one, if you don't get me on one phone, call the other one or your sister's or whatever it is. But check this out. So I have another dream. I'm in some projects somewhere. And I'm like, what the hell? People are shooting, like, the bullets are like this big. And everything's flying by me. It's just me, and I'm sitting on some balcony in New York. I'm not sure. You know how they have, like, the stairs and stuff like that. And I wake up this morning and I'm like, oh, let me go get my phone. So I grab my phone and my son's texting me about his insurance and it's urgent. I'm like, what? So I call him and I'm like having a heart attack because, like, I don't understand. Why didn't you just call me? So come to find out, he's in college, my little one. He's in college and he was at work on campus. He works at Chick-fil-A. So he was cleaning the dishes that he does every night, and the stove exploded right next to him with the steam. He said it builds up, and then the steam built up inside or whatever it was, and exploded right next to him and burned him. I've yet to get the pictures because he's all the way in Tallahassee. I don't know what is going on. I just know he said it was really bad. And they didn't say it was like first degree burn, second degree. They said it was a steam burn. So he said he's burned from all the way up from here, all the way up, somewhere right there. So that's some creepy shit. I'm hoping that he's going to recover well and it doesn't mess up his skin. But isn't this weird? Isn't this like so weird when you have these dreams? And I immediately like flew up and like, what's gonna happen now? So I'm turning on the TV, see if there was a shooting, another school shooting, or like what? Come to find out it was my kid. So I spoke to him 9 o'clock this morning. When I got up, I was like, are you okay? What happened? What do you need your insurance for? Like, going nuts. So yeah. He was burned by the steam from an oven exploding in Chick-fil-A. Now, I also remember having a vision. So I called out a name. It was Al. It's not so much like a vision, but it was like somebody's talking in my ear. I know it sounds crazy because I'm sitting there like, what? That sounds kind of... But yeah, so it's like you have this voice in your head that's like telling you stuff, and you're like, well, I don't have visions. Like, you know, I don't... Like I told you, Bailey, there's nobody there. So, like, I called out this name, Al, and I saw face tats. And so I'm just going to say I was talking to God. And God told me, don't worry, Tara, he's beautiful. And I'm like, face tats, you know. And then I saw, I put my hand up like this, like a gun. And I'm like, I think, well, my kids are older now, so if he carries a gun, it's no big deal, whatever. And then I saw multiple guns. And I was like, is he coming around Wawa? Or like, do I need to give the camera a heads up? Because I knew his name. What else? I knew that he was from New York. I knew that he was about 6'1", 6'2". I knew what, like... I thought he was like packing heat or something, and I'm like, well, is he coming to Wawa or? Hold on a second. Because I'm hearing my other dog, my big dog, barking in the back. Hold on. Where's Layla? She's outside barking. Open the door. Is she? Layla! She left you out there? Come on, mama, come on. Come on, good girl. Good girl, come here. Good girl. Come here. Yeah. Because I know she was outside. And I can't believe you left her. Since when? My God. All right, I am back. Sorry, I'm kind of blind here. I had to put sounds. So anyway, where was I? Okay, so I saw. So I didn't know what was going on with all the guns. So I'm like, okay, so if anything happens, there's a guy named Al from NYC, maybe driving a blue car. Because the thing with the car came in afterwards because God was like, well, he's coming here to meet you. And I'm like, gangster with lots of guns. So I'm thinking, okay. But I don't have visions. You know what I mean? Like something so detailed never came into my head ever before. It was just like a day thing or whatever. So then I saw, he said he's coming to buy something in a blue wrapper. So I'm like looking around the store and I'm like, now all this is on camera. Like when I, shot the gun up in the air, because I'm thinking like guns, oh, guns. Like what? So I looked around and I'm like, I know his ass is not coming here to buy tasty cakes because that's like the only thing that I see like in a blue clear wrapper. And then, and I said, he's definitely not coming to buy Airheads. So I'm like, if this gangster roll up on my register talking about how much of these cupcakes, like, I swear, I was like, he's going to take one of these guns and shoot me because I'm going to just fall on the floor laughing. But God said this man was beautiful. This man was going to treat me like a queen. And not like in a material way. But like not arguing, like he was like a gentle giant, you know what I mean? And to like love me unconditionally. And then he said he's coming to buy. That's when my eyes dropped on Blue Game Wraps, and I was like, no. And I was gonna buy it, but when I looked over at the register, at the deli, like they were so busy over there, and I'm sitting there like all this, like standing up there, like staring into space, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna write him a letter. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Like, and then I was like, oh, and I like leaned over the register to draw like a web right here on my, because I'm right-handed, my left middle finger. And I was like, I don't have visions, whatever. And I just walked away. So anyway, I'm putting away the truck. It's just me there. And I'm like I run to the bathroom to go look at myself, and I never know. Oh, and there was something about being quarantined for like 6 months. So I'm like, crap, man. I'm like, okay, the thing was, God told me that if somebody died, he could not go to the funeral. If somebody was getting married, or he had to listen to me, do everything that I said. Like if I say stop at the store, that's it. If he stopped at the store and went somewhere else, like, I don't know where this was going, but we were going to be quarantined for 6 months. Well, now I know what the quarantine part was. But yeah, so anyway, a few hours later, I run to the bathroom to go look at myself, and I'm in the mirror, and I'm like, why am I looking at myself? Because I didn't have any makeup. I'm not allowed to carry a purse to work or makeup. God forbid I come home without my lipstick on. You know, I'm like, well, I do have to eat. I do drink out of a straw, you know, like, what? But anyway, and that Saturday when he came back to see me, he was going to fight for me. And then when I come to him, which would have been the end of 2019, we met in 2017, so 2018, but yeah, probably like 2018 to 2019. I was supposed to be like drop dead gorgeous and pristine health, and we were gonna have money because there was like tons of $1, not $1 bills, but like, you know how those shirts, like you see them, like you have like rolls of money wrapped up. So I did see money. Not sure exactly where that was coming from, if it was like a lawsuit or something like that. But anyway, so I'm in the bathroom, and as soon as I push the door, the bell goes off. That means somebody walked in the store. My heart is racing like I literally just stole something or shot somebody. Like, you have no idea. I'm like, I couldn't even breathe. And I'm running around the corner, and I see this man, this beautiful, amazing man, and I fall into the ATM. I'm like, oh shit, he's real. He's real. He's so real. So I'm like, okay, I had to take a breath, but I couldn't stay there because I'm the cashier, and the other two are in the back goofing around in the break room. So, like, after probably a minute or so, like, because I'm like dumbfounded right now, I walk out, and I'm standing there looking at him. He has a gun here. He has guns all here. And I'm sitting here like, oh my God. Like, and he was so beautiful. He beautiful, beautiful man. And he was tall. He had to be about 6'1", 6'2". And he's from New York. And he was either driving a blue car or had something blue inside his car, like blue seat covers, or like, you know how those racing cars have like a blue stripe. Yeah, he had like it was blue because when he was driving away, and I can't see, like, I'm farsighted, so it was, and outside is kind of dark, and if you guys know, like, the windows at Wawa, you really can't, like, people can see you, but it's hard for you to see out, especially if you're blind. Either way, and I totally forgot to, like, tell him everything that happened because I was so shocked, and I was being stalked every night, so it was like, OMG, what do I do? So I got him to come back, and stupid me, I was so nervous. It was like, you know, when you have that first crush, and you're like, oh, and I'm just looking at him like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And nothing came out of my mouth. And when he pushed his ID to me, he had a web on his middle finger. And I was like, oh. Because I was like, okay, well, maybe, you know how some people like Marvel Comics, like Spider-Man or something like that. And I was like, OMG. And I fucked that up in a heartbeat. And I'm still here. So, if you ever see this video, just know that I have not stopped thinking about you. I am deeply in love with you, and God said I will get a second chance. Oh yeah, and I was supposed to tell him like 3 things. And that was to let him know that, look, God was going to look out for us and take care of me for you. yeah. So, I'm here. And I'm getting the second chance. I'm going to do my 30-day weight loss. And you are my motivation. So, guys, let me tell you, dreams can come true. Whether it's a dream, a vision, anything you want, I'm going to work so hard for this man. Even if I can't see him or be with him physically. And I hope and I pray that he is alive and well, knowing that New York got hit with COVID. Actually, I was actually in Jersey the year after we met. And every time I got closer to New York, something happened and I ended up having to come back to Florida. But I was in Maplewood. I worked at the Maplewood Wawa, I think like once or twice. I worked in Rahway. I lived in Maplewood. I was there for probably almost 2 months. And then I moved to, oh gosh, where did I move to? It was a beautiful area. Beautiful, beautiful. But I started working at Hackensack. I think that was like my last few weeks there. Then I had to come back home to Florida and deal with this bullshit. But guys, let me tell you something. Dreams are real. Sometimes we can't make sense out of them. Or if something like this ever happens to you, jump on it. Don't lose that person. Tell them, even if you have to look crazy, just blurt it out. Or there were so many times I went to like, and then I was like, oh my God. I was so scared. I didn't want him to think I was crazy. And, oh, I forgot that I work graveyard, so my Saturday would have been like my Friday night. And that fight would have took place at 2 o'clock in the morning because he was actually outside parked and I didn't even know. With my daughter. She was 15 at the time. She just turned 18 in September. So yeah, everything that was supposed to happen with him, if I had told him that, it was going to happen. It was going to happen. And all I could do is keep him in my mind, my thoughts, and my prayers, and just know that one day I'll see him again. So, on that note, I am going to come back with a COVID video, guys. Please be safe out there. Wear your mask. Protect yourself and protect your kids because no one cares. All right. See you in my next video.